There we go. Give me a sec. Sorry that took longer than usual. Um, I explain it. It's just better than usual. You're joking. Testing. Testing. All right. Does that sound better? Please tell me that sounds better at the very least. Okay, good. Oh lord. It's always the mic. It's always the mic that causes issues. And there's no audio. Oh. What's this sense? There's still no audio. What the heck? Hold on. Oh. I muted something else as well. There we go. Now we can get started. Let's see. Welcome. Yeah, sorry about that. Bit of a late start. I don't know. Don't even remember when we last streamed. I've legit forgotten. I know the last thing we did was start up the Majima stuff, but that's as much as I remember. Well, let's see. Oh wow, okay, it will scroll up. All right. Gravity Circuit 1 with the rude enemy setting, and I am thankful hard mode was kept separate from this modifier. Wait, rude enemies? Like what? They cuss you out? They show nothing but disrespect? I mean, that would be pretty funny if I'm being honest. It's like that. What was that mode in Shovel Knight? The butt mode, where they changed all the words that have butts in it. Also tried Fire Honey for chronic congestion. Finally figured out I have. I only know if it works when I get 8 proper hours. Well, we'll see. That's at least you found something. I wish I had remembered that I had woken up literally out of air at least 3 times in my life, so I could mention it regardless my sleep difficulties, because that definitely does need treating. That's probably sleep apnea, because my brother used to do that. He would sleep without. He would like go to sleep, and there'll be points where he just wouldn't breathe when he's sleeping. So you might have sleep apnea. Also, just quick thing. D23 happened over the weekend, I believe. Yeah, it was over the weekend. The amount of trailers that they dropped for how many things? Like, what did we get? So it was mostly like Marvel stuff with a little bit of Star Wars in there, but and some Pixar, but we mostly got what was it? We got a new Vision show, another trailer for Avengers Doomsday. What else did we get? I know there's an announcement for X-Men, Shang-Chi. Now I'm blanking on things. There was a lot of trailers. I know there's like some Pixar stuff. I know Incredibles 3 is happening. I know Coco 2 is happening. I know Frozen 3 is happening. And the big one, at least for us gamers, we got an we first got a trailer for the new Coco world in Kingdom Hearts 4, and then we got an extended trailer, which I'm not gonna lie, it looks good, but it does remind me a lot of KH3, if I'm being very honest. Like, it is kind of ridiculous how much it reminds me. It feels like DLC to Kingdom Hearts 3, and that might just be me, right? That might just be me, and you know, when the game comes out, it won't be like that. Which, by the way, we got a release date for that, late 2027. Like Square Enix has like big games coming out. But it looks good. I do like the additional fact that we get to actually play Donald and Goofy for once, and we get to play as Mickey again, in which I don't think he's been playable since Kingdom Hearts 2, and even then in Kingdom Hearts 2 it was very brief. I think, which boss fight was it? Zigbar? Sorry, I think it was Zigbar in like the Beauty and the Beast world, where if you died, Mickey would take your place temporarily, and then you would come back and get a second chance. That even happens in the data battles as well. But I think that's the only time you ever get to play as Mickey. That would imply KH4 is a real game that will release late 2027. That's what he said. Hey, Tetsuya Nomura was on stage, and he barely shows up anywhere. There has to be some sort of confirmation. And they even made the joke. They even made the joke. They was like, listen, it's not 70% complete or 90%. It's 100%. It's not 60% complete. It's basically like 80 or 90% complete. We are releasing this next year. The date ain't changing. They know the joke. They are aware of what happened with KH3, and they are aware of the whole Nomura taking 20 years to release a game. They know what's going on. Oh, I know what we're doing. But yeah, welcome, John. Oh wow, a lot of my messages didn't send. Oh, Twitch being Twitch. Unless it's an auto mode thing. Hold on a minute. No, it's Twitch being Twitch. I don't like it when Twitch does that. Cancels out your message. Oh, they're just more aggressive enemies. I thought that's funny calling them rude enemies, because I figured if they're rude enemies, they'd probably be disrespectful. If more aggressive just means it would be something else. I hope that this was the matchup with the disc production deadline. Oh, you're thinking that Kingdom Hearts 4 might be the last of the physical games? If I'm reading into that properly. Also, apparently, PS5 uses an ineffective type of liquid metal for cooling. So here's the thing. I have seen that. That's been a thing since the release of the PS5, where some of them where the cooling wasn't working. It's not just that, because the cooling can only do so much. It's also the fact that you've seen what a standard PS5 looks like. You all have, right? They have these absurd plates with a massive fan in the top that is suffocating because the plates block the fans from getting any air. Like if you saw my PS5, right? I don't have those plates on there anymore. They're upstairs. The plates that I have now are called dark plates. You don't have to specifically get these. This is just something I want because it looks nicer. They are these black sort of rounded plates that match the shape of the rest of the PS5 that have vents in them that allow the big fan to get air in it so it stays cool. Because I had an issue with my PS5 at some point where it started overheating, and I was like, okay, what's the issue? I've cleaned it out. It still overheats. I don't understand. And then it took a little while for me to then figure out, oh, it needs air. It's suffocating. There's no ventilation. It's being blocked by the plates. I need to get new ones. And yeah, I haven't had an issue ever since. I have seen the liquid cooling stuff though, and I've seen people have issues with it, like here and there. But it's like, it's kind of inconsistent in terms of, you know, who it's happening to. It happens to some, it doesn't happen to others. You could just argue that it's just a faulty sort of product thing, but I don't think, considering that it doesn't happen very often, I honestly think it's just an overheating issue that is caused by a lack of oxygen. You don't have to, Flash, you don't have to order an exact set, right? You don't have to, you could order dark plates if you wish. You'd have to import them because it's based in America. But you don't have to order the exact ones. You can go on Amazon, as long as it's a plate that has a vent in it. That headphones? Headphones? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. The headphones are dying. The headphones are dying. What sort of? The wire is dying. I need to get a new... I haven't had these super long. And now I need to get a new set of wires? And... So, to explain, the left speaker in the headphone is starting to bug out. That means, and considering I'm messing with the wire here, and it keeps cutting in and out, I need to get a new wire now for these headphones. That's why I basically paused. I was like, huh? What's going on? I'm just going to keep my ear out, because here's the thing, right? If I keep my ear in on the speaker, and then I just try to pretend like nothing's happening, it's gonna bug me. It's gonna drive me up a wall. So it's just best if I just keep my ear out the speaker, so I'm only hearing up the right side now. The right side. The left side's one that is not working. Great. Now I need new headphones. Not really new headphones, but new like just people direct. Yeah, hold that. But yeah, just get any sort of plate that has a vent, and it's gonna be vents on both sides. Make sure you also if you have like canned air, right? Make sure you get one of those. Clean out the fans, take out the fans, clean out the insides, put it back, and then put the new plates on. And then the issue will resolve itself. There we go. I love how you can just read his workers. But yeah, I think that's the main thing that you'd have to do. Just get any set of plates with a vent. Make sure it's grated as well. Make sure it's got like metal grates on it, so that way dust doesn't get into the console, and it just keeps the dust on the grates itself. Because again, my one also has grates as well, so I can just clean the dust off of that, and less dust gets into the actual console itself. Besides that, oops. I have been playing Twilight Princess. I have been playing Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on a recomp called Dusklight, right? This is for a game that people compare to Ocarina of Time. It's really linear. Like, it's really linear. Like, to give an idea, right? You start from Link's house. You then go down to meet the kids, and then you go into the town, and then you do your job at the ranch, and then you go back, and then you go back to get Epona, to then go back. You go to the kids, go to get Epona, then go to the ranch to do the job, to do your job, then come back to mess about with the kids, buy a slingshot. Get a fishing rod, get a fish so that you can access the shop. Then this all happens in like 2 areas of the game. 3, I would say about 3. Where am I going? Also, oh. But yeah, you get a fish to unlock the shop. You gather up a bunch of rupees. You buy the slingshot, which you can get the sword and the slingshot at the same time, I believe. Because I got the sword first when I did it on the Iron 4, and then I got the slingshot. So you can complete two tutorials at once. Kids get captured. You go rescue them from some goblins, which is a very, very narrow, straightforward line, if I'm being honest, with the exception of like one area. But even then, the one area has is one turning, you grab a key, open the other door, and then you go. It's very linear, and I mean extremely linear. Like, you just kind of go forward, and then you'll just immediately get to the point where you need to go. Even when you turn into a wolf for the first time, it's a very straightforward path. There's no deviations, there's no puzzles to it. It's just go forward. And then when you turn back and you have and you access your first dungeon, which is like this forest dungeon where you gotta rescue a bunch of monkeys, the game kind of guides you, if that makes any sense. I mean, it makes a whole bunch of sense. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten lost in that once. Even if I had forgotten how to play the game, I would know how to do that dungeon front to back, because you are pretty much guided through most of it. And then once you get the boomerang, you kind of figure out, you kind of learn where everything is, so you already know where to go. And then when I got to the second temple, it was a similar ordeal, not exactly the same. It had a cool gimmick with the iron boots and the magnetism. I liked that a lot. That was something that was like pretty unique, especially when it comes to the iron boots. They don't do stuff like that. So the fact that you get to use it like that was pretty cool. But again, it was very straightforward. I didn't get lost once. I found everything in both dungeons that I've done so far with minimal issues. And to me, I just find it kind of weird that for the Ocarina of Time comparisons, this game is very straightforward. Not a bad thing per se, actually a little bit of a bad thing, because Zelda games, from mostly what I've seen, are much more open than what this game presents itself. Even at some point I want to play Skyward Sword, and I already know that game's much more open because you gotta fly everywhere. Same with Wind Waker, you gotta sail everywhere. Like, even with Ocarina of Time, you wasn't given a direction of where to go. You just kind of had to figure it out for yourself. You had 3 objectives, 3 dungeons, and then you just kind of winged it. which I think you could have. Could you have done certain ones early? Like, could you have done Zoro before doing Death Mountain? I don't even remember. But yeah, with Twilight Princess, it's just very, you know, go this way. Just go this way. There's a point in the game that I found really weird. So when you're in, I guess I'm just gonna call it the Dark World, because that's just kind of what it is. It's the A Link to the Past thing, where you go into a darker version of the world you're already in, and then you transform. That's what this game does as well, right? So when you're in that and you're the wolf, you have fast travel. You have access to like full-on fast travel. And the thing that threw me back was when I couldn't progress to Death Mountain. Actually, no. I couldn't progress to Kakariko Village. So what happened was because the bridge was gone. And the thing is, you see the bridge early in the game, like really early. And so the game goes, so Minda kind of goes, okay, we saw the bridge earlier, let's go back and grab that. So instead of the game making you walk all the way back, you could literally just teleport to where the bridge is, pick it up, and then just go straight back, right? When you become regular Link again in the normal world, you have to get Epona, and then once you do, the game tells you, all right, you found all these kids, they're all safe. You need to go tell their parents to get the iron boots as well, right? So instead of giving me the fast travel option, I now have to ride Epona all the way back to the beginning of the map. And I'm like, so you're telling me I had a fast travel option I have a fast travel option as a wolf, but as regular Link, I have no fast travel and I have to tediously ride Epona everywhere. That sucks. That's so boring. I don't like that. My fast travel is gatekept by a wolf. The wolf don't even get any gear. I get all the, as normal Link, I get all the gadgets and all that. You're telling me I gotta take the horse all the way back to the beginning of the map. I did not like that one bit. Because it kind of made the fast travel feel pointless. Well, not pointless. Pointless is not the right word. It made it feel well, not useless either, but like context sensitive. If that's the correct way. I just pulled that straight from Conker's Bad Fur Day. But it's kind of, I guess it's the closest thing to being correct. What the? Situational, thank you. Hold on. We have issues. Hopefully that fixed it. No, it didn't fix it. I know what to do. Yeah, situational would be the better word for it, because you have to be Wolf Link to be able to use it, and I don't want to just have Wolf Link using it. I want to use it as normal Link. I think I fixed it.
Oh?
Yeah, I have.
あんたは眼帯の支配人さんじゃねえか。酒は人の金で飲むに限るよな、まったく。お客様、ちょっとお話が。
It's not a bad game so far, and plus, playing it on a PlayStation controller as well, I also get motion controls. So when I aim with the bow, I can aim more precisely. Kind of like how the 3DS games did it, and also Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Also, I got to customize Link. So in the PC version, I have him with black hair, red eyes, white tunic, with like black undergarments, with silver gauntlets, and I haven't got the Master Sword yet because I want to see what that looks like because I've set up all of his gear as well, along with the Hylian shield. I haven't got that yet, but you can like mod it and customize all the textures. What's it? Epona looks like a monster. That was the first thing I did. Turn that horse into a Twilight monster. And then I changed up certain things when I did it on the Iron 4, because you can also customize on the Iron 4 as well.
そう邪険にすんなよ、マジマちゃん。ちょいとお前さんの働きぶりを確認しにな。これも仕事だ。まあ、ただで飲めるとは思ってなかったけどな。
It's just it's not a bad game. It just feels very easy for what Zelda usually is.
おお、そいつはすまなかったな。ついはしゃいじまったよ。
Like if you play I keep up because here's the thing. My experience is with Zelda is really minimal, down to like 2 open world games, 1 Muso game. Technically, I played well, I say technically, I played Majora's Mask on 3DS first before I played Ocarina of Time. So I have some experience there. And the thing is, when it comes to these games, they have puzzles for a reason and make you try and use your head, but for some reason in Twilight Princess it's like, nah, you know what, right? You know what Twilight Princess is? Twilight Princess is a great introduction game for people who want to get into traditional Zelda games. I would put that game in front of a new player first before I would put Ocarina of Time in front of them, because Ocarina of Time requires you to work things out and pay attention to things, whereas Twilight Princess is very linear and very straightforward. I would put that in front of someone first before I would put any other Zelda game, and then introduce the more mentally mentally challenging ones, I guess, because you have to use your head.
この現状をお前が気に入らないのは当然だ。これはお前への罰なんだからな。
Hate the first to do. Here's the thing. I've never played Gravity Circuit before. I've seen it multiple times. I've never played it before. I'm pretty sure there's like 2 of them. Also, I'm back on Fortnite. I am ashamed. Yes, I do feel shame. But there's a reason. So, what's the date? The date is the 8th of the 17th of August, right? On the 20th of August, there's going to be an update, and there's going to be a massive gaming crossover, right? To them in the future year of the next one, huh? That's interesting. But yeah, there's a video game crossover for Fortnite, and just to list off some of them that I can remember at least. There's Sonic, there's Shadow. Oh, the second one's released. Okay, second one's released the next day. Okay, that makes more sense. There's Sonic, there's Shadow, there's Eggman, there's Crash, Spyro, Lara Croft. There's a clear there's 2 original characters in there, but those 2 original characters are clearly meant to be Link and Fox McCloud, but Nintendo said no, so they made them original characters. Are we talking about Nope, we're talking about Fortnite. We are talking about Fortnite. Sonic, Shadow, Eggman, Lara Croft, Crash, Spyro, fake Link, fake Fox McCloud. I saw Ryu in there. but Ryu and Chun-Li have already been in Fortnite already. The main character from Screamer of all things, which is a racing game, Sora's in it. Sora from Kingdom Hearts. That was the craziest one for me, because Flip made a joke. He's like, but where's Sora? And I was like, yeah, no, Sora's not going to be part of this. And then I looked at the key art, and Sora's in it. He's flying next to the logo. There's like a number of crossover characters. And the thing is, I don't think we've seen all of them yet. And this is why I've come back to Fortnite. One, because my goat Shadow the Hedgehog is in there now, so there's not really many excuses for me not to come back to Fortnite. And two, what do you mean Sora's in it? I have to see this for myself. How did Smash have trouble getting Sora, and Fortnite just has him like it's no big deal now? Because we're talking about let me pause the cutscene. We're talking about two different companies, essentially. Fortnite is worldwide. Even people like normies and casuals who don't care about Fortnite know about Fortnite. A Fortnite pro player in Ninja was on the Jimmy Fallon show, and despite him embarrassing himself in Times Square, doing I forgot the name of the stupid dance. In the middle of the pouring rain, he was a massive name. He was everywhere. Massive celebrities were playing Fortnite. It got massive collaborations. You couldn't really ignore it, including a sort of movie tie-in thing with the last Star Wars film, Rise of Skywalker, and this was a very weird one. This is a very weird one. What was it? Yeah, movement. It got a weird political Kamala Harris thing called Stars and Stripes. That's politicians got involved in Fortnite. I'm not joking about that. That was a thing. They advertised that. Even I saw that on my thing when I would pull up Fortnite. I was like, what the heck is this? Like Fortnite, there's a reason why it's much easier, and also they had worked with Disney beforehand, because Marvel characters were in there, Spider-Man, including movie-based ones. Like there's like different Spider-Man ones. There's like different Spider-Man ones. There was a Marvel collaboration before that had Thanos in it. And like 3 other Marvel characters. Like Fortnite is like the ultimate crossover anything that exists, because it can get the big names from big companies and just wave and just splash cash at whoever. It is as undeniable as GTA, and I'm not joking about that. There are like 5 John Wick skins, including a Simpsons one. It was also the first time you could play Master Chief on PlayStation and Switch. Same thing with Kratos. Kratos was a part of Fortnite, and he was playable on not just PlayStation but Xbox and Switch. Like, you really can't do much again. When Fortnite comes, or when Epic Games comes along and says, hey, we want to get all of your characters in this season, everyone's saying yes. Everyone's saying yes. Who says no to Fortnite? I swear, right? If GTA fails, there will be a big industry-wide issue that will come about and will make companies rethink a lot of things, especially when it comes to the ongoing conversation of physical media. However, the I know it won't fail. That's an impossibility. Like 1 billion in pre-orders, you're mad. But just the slightest chance that it does fail, right? That is going to shake up things in the gaming industry in the ways you've never seen. Like, because everyone has their eyes on it. Oh, this guy. This would be Kiryu's master in the later games.
Hi.
But that would be the most serious shakeup you will ever see, ever. It's taken out the king, basically. You take out the king, and instead of replacing it, the whole kingdom collapses, and everyone else who looked at that kingdom and that king as for validation is now going to look at themselves and be like, oh, we need to change this. We need to change how we're moving. Okay. But that's, of course, as we know already, Rockstar takes their sweet time when it comes to making their games. So the likeliness of GTA, of all things, their premier title that everybody has their eye on, failing is not a likely thing to happen ever. Like, at all. It's the same with, like, and even then, if it fails, there's kind of a scapegoat, I guess, in Fortnite, because Fortnite is probably just as big as GTA, if not just a little less. Because while Fortnite has influence, it doesn't have as much influence as GTA has. If the day came where Fortnite shut down or it failed for whatever reason, and it couldn't get any of its collaborations back, it lost all of its licensing, money went down the drain, yada 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 yada, which all of that will never happen. Live service games would be looked at very differently, very much so. Monetization would be looked at differently, because here's the thing about Fortnite, right? Fortnite, they like to overcharge you for a lot of things. So like, if you play something like Warframe, for instance, Warframe has cosmetics, and those cosmetics range between, like, I want to say, like like maybe like £5-6 per skin, and even then it's custom, and even then it's not like just a basic skin. No, you can customize it as well. So you get value for the skin that you purchase, right? Fortnite, however, doesn't really do that, and even then, a basic skin is much more expensive than what you would get out of any other live service game. So if it ever came to a point where Fortnite failed, there would be a lot of conversation. The reason why that's impossible is because Epic Games not only has made a quality product in which you can't really counter per se, but even if you move away from Fortnite entirely, do you know what you have? Unreal Engine. And Unreal Engine is owned by Epic Games, and there are many video games that use Unreal Engine, and at a certain point when a certain game makes enough money, they take a cut of it, which, if I'm correct, it's the first million, which if you're an indie developer, you're not touching those numbers, so you get all the profits from your game. But if you're like a bigger company, say a Namco with Tekken, or Sega with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, they're gonna take a cut out of it once your game reaches a million. Is it a million units or $1 million? It's one of the two. So either way, point standing, they have money in other ventures. They get money from people releasing games using their engine. And the reason why they use their engine is because devs don't want to make custom engines because, one, that's costly, two, you got to get the whole dev team to make that engine, and three, it's going to have more bugs than anything that's an actual release thing. So that's why, and also for, as I've heard from developers, engines like Unity, Godot, and Unreal are very user friendly. So you know, easy money then, isn't it? Also, no, it's another thing I'm gonna bring up. I just want to bring up Marvel's Wolverine. So here's the thing: I'm getting this game, right? And I am kind of holding back a majority of my judgment on the game until, you know, I actually play it. However, there are things I've seen, and I'm just kind of like, why were these choices made? The one that comes to mind, and this is the one that people kind of joked about a fair bit, is the fact that there's a sequence in the game, and I know it's been a joke with other games, and people keep do this thing where they record themselves just moving the left stick forward, and it's like, see, automated gameplay. But in this case, with it's a scripted sequence, but it's a scripted sequence where you literally just go forward. Even Naughty Dog, when they was doing Uncharted 4 with the whole dragging Nate with a car, that whole thing had you like moving left and right when the sequence was happening. So you had some semblance of control. In this case, you're just holding up and going forward. And also, I'm hearing that the gameplay is again bare bones basic, as was Spider-Man, and and personally, I don't like that. I don't need it to be Devil May Cry or Bayonetta or any of them like character action games. I just need it to not be mash square multiple times, hold square, and maybe counter with this, but you know, the basic free flow combat or something similar to it. I don't need it to be, I don't want it to be like that, because that is such boring gameplay. It's just square, and it seemed like it's gonna be that type of game, just square. And people are making fuss about certain cutscenes and all that, but I'm personally don't really care like that. All done. Will you stay like that? See, here's the thing, right? I can talk over this game because I've beaten it like, I want to say, I've beaten it once. No, I've beaten it twice. This is a crazy move. But yeah, I'll pass judgment on that game when it releases. And also, there was a thing that said that Insomniac was upset that people were pretty much just dumping on the game. To which I was like, you can't control the criticism that comes from, like, you can't control the criticism that comes from what players see of your game. They are going to take it either be excited or they're gonna take it poorly, and in this case, they're taking it pretty poorly, which I kind of saw. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of saw coming. I can't, like, that second trailer when they actually showed gameplay was not it. So the fact that, you know, people are cussing out the game before it's released, it's not surprising. It's not surprising. The advertisement for this game has not been great, and even then, the advertising for this game has been really minimal. Like, we did not hear about this game for a long time. We get one trailer after how long? We get a little bit of gameplay. I don't even know if we're getting it. It's funny, right? Because I don't think we're like a month away from Wolverine releasing, right? So I can't fully say yet. But the next game getting a focused state of play is Phantom Blade Zero. That game is getting a focused state of play. Where's Marvel's Wolverine's state of play? Why is Phantom Blade Zero a game that isn't even coming out this year? I believe it's either later this year or like it's not coming out this year. But why are we focusing a state of play on that game first instead of the game that comes out next month? Like, it just seems very odd to me. I'm starting to feel like they don't have the confidence that they thought they had with this game, especially with how many people are cussing it. They're probably reconsidering certain things about this game. Like, you can't change anything. So you can't change anything at this point. This game releases in a month, so at this point in time, you might as well just, you know, just kind of brush it under the table. You know, it's here. It's here. Have fun. Yeah. Again, I'm going to pass judgment when the game comes out. However, my confidence isn't high. No, let's see where we're going. I expect reviews for that game to be at least alright to mid. Because Spider-Man 2, for as well as that game reviewed, on retrospect, that game is not as good. Wait, what is this? Oh, okay. What did people not like about Spider-Man 2, by the way? Does Wolverine... So, the thing that people didn't like about... So, there's a lot of things to not like about Spider-Man 2, which I am included in those people as well. But, basically, when you have two main characters in Spider-Man 2, and the story mainly focuses on one of those characters, as opposed to focusing on both of those characters. Miles Morales is not a main character in Spider-Man 2. He is a side character with a side plot that doesn't really get involved until almost the third act of the game. I'm not joking. So he has this whole thing about, you know, this Mr. Negative who killed his dad, which doesn't really get brought up, which sort of gets brought up in Miles Morales' game, but doesn't get that much attention until Spider-Man 2, right? And even then, it doesn't really get that much, get that much attention. He talks about it a lot, but there's nothing to it. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example, right? So it's his entire thing is this whole sort of revenge plot to get his own back on Mr. Negative, right? That the entirety of that story is him talking about it with other people over the phone. He doesn't do it until he actually sees him, by coincidence, bear in mind, when he's captured by Kraven. The entire time, he's not looking for him. He's not he's not actively hunting him down. He's talking about it, and people are like, hey, Miles, you shouldn't really be going through with this whole revenge thing. And he's ignoring them, but at the same time, he's not doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. So what is there for him? What is you lot afraid of? He's not doing anything. Compare that to Peter, right? Now, Peter's story isn't super great, but it's way, way infinitely more interesting than anything that Miles has. He has to deal with Kraven, who's hunting him down. He has to deal with the symbiote taking over his body and mind. He has to deal with Harry and his issues. Like, Harry is a major part of this game, which Miles is not a part of, with the exception of like one phone call. Like, he is not a part of anything involving Harry Osborn at all. That is all Peter, and it's all Peter from beginning to end. Right, so you start there. Right? Again, we're starting there. Then you move up to the latter side of the story of the game, right? Where you do get a really cool boss fight where you fight symbiote Spider-Man as Miles, but that comes as, you know, we have two Spider-Men, so one can save the other, right? And then the Mr. Negative stuff does come back around, but less in Miles' favor and more in Peter's favor. And they do have a chat, and he doesn't forgive him and all of that, but it doesn't really feel as earned, if you catch my drift, because Mr. Negative does not care about what he did to Miles' dad. That is exclusively Miles' issue, and Miles' issue alone. So it's a one-sided sort of thing that doesn't really get to blossom in the way that the devs thought it would. Let's talk about the third act, right? So, towards the third act. There's a really cool sequence where you get to play as Venom, and it's something that they do really well, because Harry gets the symbiote back, turns into Venom, throws Peter away, and then the cutscene just continues to focus on Venom. And then at that point, I was like, hold on a minute, are we gonna play as Venom? And yeah, and guess what? We play as Venom. And that whole Venom sequence is, while it is a very basic gameplay sequence, is possibly the most fun, chaotic bit of gameplay that you get to play throughout the entirety of the game. It's so absurdly fun for the short time that you get to play as Venom. But then you get to the third act, and it just kind of... So here's how the symbiote works in this game, right? It's a type of symbiote that, while it takes over your body and your mind, as it does normally, like in every other comic book story, it goes the extra mile to reach into your deepest thoughts, like stuff that is like so deep you don't really think about. It's kind of like one of those throwaway things that, you know, you get a little annoyed at someone or something, and then you just kind of throw it away and you move on, right? It's like those really unimportant thoughts, right? And the symbiote takes those and maximizes them to 1 billion. Like Peter not being the best Spider-Man he could ever be, or you fight Mary Jane because she gets taken over, and she's I believe she's Scream, and she goes on about how Peter's a bum. He can't pay any of the bills because he can't hold down a job, and you know he's not supportive of her and her journalism, which I'll get to Mary Jane in a minute. You know, he's not supportive of her and her journalism and all of that, and he's basically, and for some reason he's having a conversation with the symbiote, like the symbiote cares what he thinks, and he's trying to get through to her. It's like, this is not Mary Jane. You're talking to an alien who's just pushing like the most pointless of thoughts to the forefront. This is not how Mary Jane behaves, and she even just flat out says it at one point. So I don't know why he's having this therapy boss battle with her when she's not. You're not talking to her. You're talking to a monster, basically. And that's what this does. So when you get to Venom, Venom's whole thing is that this is so stupid because Venom's whole thing is that Peter found a new friend. He's got a new buddy. It's Miles. It's Miles. That's his new friend. You chose Miles over me, Peter. How could you? And the problem with that is that through 90% of this story, with say for certain exceptions where you play as both characters, Peter and Harry spend more time together than Miles and Peter do. So this whole thing of, you know, Peter, Miles taking Peter away from him makes zero sense. Because Peter doesn't talk to Miles most of the game. Well, no. Peter is not with Miles most of the game. He talks to him like a good chunk, but he's not with Miles most of the game. Matter of fact, when Harry first meets Miles, they meet at a amusement park. Do you know how long the interaction is at that amusement park? Peter goes, Peter. This is Peter goes to Harry. This is Miles. Miles, Harry. They say hello, shake hands, and then bounce. And that's their whole interaction in that entire sequence. The only time Harry and Miles talk is over a phone call because Harry feels useless and he wants to help more. And then Miles is like, we got all the help we need, get lost. Not like that. Okay, I mean, be honest. It's not like that. He's much more nicer about it. And then they have a little heart-to-heart. And then that's the only phone call they ever have. So, this whole thing with the symbiote is like, oh, Miles is taking my place as Peter's new best friend. And it's like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Let's talk about Mary Jane. Mary Jane's playable in this game. Yeah, she can take out hunters, like trained, Craven trained hunters. The type of hunters that hunt the most vicious and violent of prey. Mary Jane can just, trip them up, tase them a bit. Easy work. She does this in the entire game as well. These are, which bear in mind, the whole thing of Craven having additional hunters to begin with is stupid because it takes away from Craven himself being the hunter, right?
Ah.
すみません。ただいま満席でして、少々。
This is getting on my nerves. Alright, let me do this one. But yeah, so the idea of Craven even having hunters is already stupid. But then on top of that, his hunters are like the most easily beatable guys, because if a journalist with a pistol and the most little bit of training can take out an entire room of them, then what's the point of even having them if they're that easy? Because here's the thing, right? When I played that game and I did stealth with Mary Jane, I took out every guard in that room in the entire sequence. There was no one left standing, and I'm just kind of like, there is no way this journalist with bare bones training should be even able to do this against insanely trained hunters who need to think, hear, and smell what's ever coming near them. Like, it makes no sense at all. And all right, let's get to the I'm almost done on the Spider-Man tangent. So you get to the third act, and the symbiote has taken over all of New York. All right. So to establish, the Avengers exist in Marvel Spider-Man. The Avengers, Doctor Strange, Daredevil, Iron Fist. There's several others, but you get the idea, right? Where are they? Bear in mind, they're not in the first game either, when all the prisoners break out and just tear up the city. But they're not in. But when a whole alien invasion has taken over not only buildings but the New York population as a whole, just nowhere to be found. Just nowhere to be found. No one's coming. So you mean to tell me an entire alien invasion is now up to 2 Spider-Men and a reporter? Which you know, that sounds even when I was playing it for the first time, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. There are no Avengers. There is no one coming to help. It's literally 2 Spider-Men and Mary Jane. What do you mean? Even the final boss battle is stupid. It's cool for the first half, and then you play Miles' side of it, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. This is so. You should have started with Miles first, and then ended with Peter, because it would make more sense thematically. I don't know why you did the other way around. The story of it sucks, and then you get to the gameplay. The gameplay is mostly the same. They got rid of majority of the gadgets, so all the gadgets that Peter had in the first game are just gone in their entirety, with the exception of like very few. He gets like 4 gadgets, so like everything else is gone. You can fly. You can fly. You know about the whole thing with Spider-Man swinging? Yeah, you can fly. And they even have challenges where you're just supposed to fly, and there's air currents that allow you to just soar across the city at speeds faster than actual swinging. So swinging, while not fully redundant because you still need to use it, it kind of plays second fiddle because you're using it to glide. You're using the swinging not because the swinging just feels good, because it still feels good, but you're using it to glide over entire areas. Like you get as high as over the rooftops. There's some vents. You just keep gliding. Glide over the river. Glide over from one island to the other. Glide in Manhattan. Glide in Queens and Brooklyn and all over the place. The game loves it when you start gliding because it's faster. It's way faster. Not only that, but you get like additional mid-air jumps and air dashes to make sure that you can extend the flights. What's it? You know, I haven't been reading comments. Miles should get the entire final third. No, because he hasn't earned it. It should be a cooperative effort to where it's both of them. Lock screen player. I went to get my mum's grocery bags, so I put the phone in the fancy pack. I don't know what else it's called. And as soon as I take out, are you sure you want to unfollow? I've had that before. Oh wait, hold on. Before I continue, let's see some funnies. Because if we look over here, what the hell is that? He's just here. And he stays there. He just stays there. We're gonna speak to him later as well. But yeah, oh no, yep. I forgot his name. Mr. Libido or something? He's got a funny name like that. But you get the point, right? And just to bear in mind, Spider-Man 2 is not a bad game. It is not a bad game in the slightest. But you compare that to not only what Insomniac has done in the past, but literally their previous Spider-Man games. Spider-Man 2 is the lowest out of the 3 Spider-Man games, and compared to their other games is even lower than that. So, so when you get to Wolverine and you see some of the stuff that they're doing, it's like, We want to play a video game. We don't want to play your stupid movie. Or I kind of have the same issue with so I don't know what it is, what's happening over at PlayStation, especially with Insomniac in particular, but they are their writing is awful now. Let's just flat out say it. Their writing is awful. I like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but that dialogue sucks. That dialogue sucks for that game. Everyone is so apologetically nice, and everyone's a therapist. Everyone's a therapist in that game, and I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Everyone can solve all of each other's problems. Everyone's got problems, and they can be solved just by talking to each other. And it's like, it feels like a waste of time. Well, no. It feels not a waste of time. Waste of time is a poor choice of words. It feels like what's the best way to put it? It feels like this is gonna be rude, but it feels like HR got involved. HR got involved and said, change all of this. You can't be having this. Because there is no way that I'll give you an example of what I mean by overly friendly dialogue, right? Or like overly apologetic and friendly dialogue. They practically flat out say it with this. But there's a sequence with Rivet and Clank where they go to see the Fixer, I believe. That's the name of the giant robot. I think he's called the Fixer. And he is depressed, upset, and crying about how he is broken and nothing can be fixed. And then Clank tricks him into saying that to be like, oh, you fixed me. And it's not really the result, but it's more the whole what the Fixer is going for, like the unbroken, because that also ties to Kit as well and her whole character about her being broken as well. It's just like, even with Ratchet, he don't want to find the Lombaxes no more. Why wouldn't he want to do that? He went through all this trouble to not only look for the Lombaxes, but to have Clank get taken away, for him to go on a long adventure to find Clank, to end up finding another Lombax, a friend of his dad's, no less, to then stop him from destroying time, and then just to go, you know what, screw him. I don't want to find the Lombaxes no more. What if they don't like me? What if they don't like me any? I don't want to show up and they all hate me. I'm just like, brother, shut up! Lord have mercy! Have some dignity. This is your family we're talking about here. This is your people. Why would you want to go find them? It's so stupid. And even Rivet calls him out on it, like, why? Are you mad, or why wouldn't you want to go find your own people? It's just so poorly written. I did not like it. So, and it's also really short. The games, one thing I don't like about modern Ratchet and Clank games, they are ridiculously short. It took you like, it didn't take you a super long time, but it took you a bit longer than what it takes to beat older Ratchet and Clank games than it does current ones. Because I'll give you an example, right? If we were to stream, if we were to restream, I guess, the first 4 Ratchet and Clank games, 1, 2, 3, Deadlocked. Those games, with the exception of like maybe Deadlock, those games would take maybe like, I guess 2, maybe 3 streams at most, right? If we did the movie game, if we did Into the Nexus, if we did Rift Apart, I cleave through those games in a single stream. It's so short. They are so short. Even if I did challenge mode, which is basically New Game Plus, on the older games, that's probably still going to be, that game's still probably still going to be 2 streams. Whereas if I did it for those other 3 that I just mentioned, those are probably going to be 1 stream at most. Well, 1 stream at the least, and maybe 2 streams, or like a stream and a half. And I don't like how short the games are. I understand that you wanna respect the player's time, right? That's why a game like Resident Evil 9 can afford to be so short, as a way for replay value and like respecting the player's time. Here's the thing: you can cleave through Rift Apart in 100% the game in the span of a single playthrough, and then the rest of playthroughs that you repeatedly do are just you upgrading your weapons for whatever reason, right? That's kind of it. And by the game being really short, you can just go and just do whatever. Just to give an idea. When Rift Apart came out, I beat that game 3 times, and that game had been out 3 days. And to give also an idea, I beat the game twice in 1 day. That's how short it is. That's how short it is. I don't even know what that means, Flash. Ask about the Odyssey.
今日はまたえらい混んどんな。毎日こない繁盛しとるんか？
まあ年末っちゅうこともありますけど、最近はみんな強制で同伴させられてるから、その分お客さんが多いんとちゃいます？
ほう。
He's still there.
けど、そない必死になって同伴
Why is he here? How did he get in?
悪そうには見えへんけどな。
単に意地張ってるだけですわ。
意地？
What does that even mean anyway? Flash, I don't even know what that means.
今月は絶対に刀全員罰金とかむちゃくちゃ言わはりますねん。
なんやそら。自分とこが儲かっとればそれでええやないか。なんでグランドが関係あんねん。
うちもそう思うんやけどな。支配人はそう思ってへんみたいで。正直
The little pizza.
常連さんも毎日何でも買ってくれるわけとちゃうし、新規のお客さんを増やせへんと頭打ちなんよね。
That's funny.
ほう、なるほどな。
Speaking of which, I need to should I redo some games? I've already got Jack 2 on here. I've already got Jack 3. I haven't redone Jack 1 or Jack X. I probably should redo Ratchet and Clank again. I'm probably not gonna do that. Here's the thing, right? I've been thinking about something. So, the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, right? Kind of got me a little bit hyped, if I'm being honest. And the thing is, I feel like we're just not gonna play Skies of Arcadia at this point. So I was thinking, at this point in time, it's just a thought. I was thinking that we could do a little Kingdom Hearts marathon. Yeah, I was thinking we could do a little Kingdom Hearts marathon. You know? I know we're talking like what, 40-hour RPGs, but it's Kingdom Hearts. I'll be fine. Hey, once we get to Kingdom Hearts 2, everything will be just fine. And Birth by Sleep is short. Dream Drop Distance isn't hard. Well, you know, it is kind of hard, but it's not super long either. And 3 is just a super easy game. I can run it. I can run that game over easy. And then there's also the DLC, which I would also play as well, because you kind of have to. I could. Do I want to do back-to-back RPGs? That's a long set of playthroughs. I might throw a little in between. Maybe after this, or maybe something else. just to break up the monotony of RPG, RPG, RPG.
ちゃいます。そんだけやめる子が多いんです。
やめるなんでや
You know what?
うちは上下関係めっちゃ厳しいですし。
Maybe after this we do Skies of Arcadia, right?
すぐ上が潰しにかかるん
And
ですわ。
maybe after, because I have them and I don't really touch them, if at all, I've only beaten 2 of them.
ほんまにすごい子なんや
Maybe after we can play Mega Man X, all of them. I'll even play Command Mission as well. Why not? Just throw them all in there.
その望み
I have
中古は
both.
どんな
Let me tell you what I have, right? I have both Mega Man X collections, and I also have the Zero collection as well. So I have everything involving Mega Man X. The thing is, though, I've only played and beaten 2 Mega Man X games. I've beaten 1 and 2, and that was it. So, and because they're short games, that means it'll make it easier for me. So why not do X1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I believe there's 8. There's 8. 8 or 9. Is that 9? Where's my phone?
名実ともにトップレディっちゅうわけやな
Is there 9 mainline Mega Man X games?
ああ、せやけど、この前若いお客さんが来た時は逆に全然話題についていかれへんくてめっちゃ面白かったですわ。
Oh, what is this in the Discord?
今の内緒にしてな。うちが
Stop at 5, please. There's a turn-based. I know about Command Mission.
安心しいや誰にも言わへんって可愛いとこがあるやないかそののぞみちゃんも
I'm not as I would want to see for myself because I just need to see for myself if Command Mission is that bad. Right. And I am curious about the PS2 games as well. I am curious about the Mega Man X PS2 games.
ようこそオデッセイへ楽しまれてますか
You sound like
これは山形藩オデッセイの試合に自らおいでになるとは
I forgot the name of the guy.
すまんの
Zoro.
外してもらえるか
I don't know if Command Mission is bad, but X8 is a clumsy gimmick fest. Interesting. Here's the thing, I have played
お目当て
gimmicky
は
games.
望みやね
And X7 gave me a very bad first impression. I know there's like, is it X7 that has the auto aim that isn't really known for there isn't really a thing in Mega Man games at all, with the exception of Mega Man X Dive. That's like the sole exception.
望みに会いたきゃ呼びますせ説得でも交渉でもしたらえ
That's the one that has auto aim.
そないなことしても
Is the auto aim? I assume there's more issues with it because I know one of the big issues is that they added a bunch of story stuff that didn't need to happen after what 5?
俺が見たところこの店確かに繁盛しとるが客層がおっさんに偏っとる今はそれでも
And then they did a whole
今後もっと売り上げを伸ばそう思うなら
continuation.
客層を広げんことには頭打ちや
Close that.
うちは
But yeah, I am
100
curious
名を超える大箱ですせ
because while I own Mega Man games, I am not a Mega Man fan per se.
いやこの店のホステスは
The auto aim is a pure crutch to account for gameplay not being well adapted to a free. That's stupid. That's stupid. What was wrong with just keeping it a straightforward aim? That would have been fine in 3D. Especially even back then. Even back then with hold on. This is getting on my nerves. This is getting on my nerves.
なかなか常連にはなってくれへんのとちゃうか
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Something's at my door. I'll be back.
Over
information, I can't handle this. Gotta turn it up to be unreachable. Buy some time for what it's worth. It's really on you to decide. You own the key to Queendom music and make time stand still. You can say hi, you can say hi. You can say hi, just by listening to the same tune. You can say hi, by looking into each other's eyes. You can say hi, baby, hi. Just by listening.
Now they can. There's someone here, by the way. You've heard him before, and he's been. I'll be back. Oh no, my brother's gonna get it. Right.
Tell him to pressure you to play the last remnant.
What do you mean pressure me?
Like, the recommendation what we'll play next.
You know they can hear you, right? In the background, because his mic.
Play the last remnant, Brandon.
Listen, it's not the first time I've docked myself, but but let's be honest. Not the worst thing you've done. Okay. It's a hammer. He's touching stuff. he picked up. Welcome, Antomic. He picked up the hammer that is used for fretboards on my guitar. Yes, it is.
Wow, it's on the other side of the streaming side now.
Yes, well,
7-time aim, what's that?
that's I was talking about Mega Man X7. That's also aim. I have someone. See, here's the thing, right? I feel like Atomic would remember. I don't think he remembers you. He remembers. Yes, he does. because he just comes in and yells W's in the chat. That's all he does. He shows up, W's in the chat. There is no poll. I just kind of decide. Why would anyone be talking about Mega Man X7? Because I'm thinking about after Skies of Arcadia, playing through because I have both Mega Man X collections. I have Volume 1 and 2, and they've been sitting in my library for ages, and I've only beaten 2 of the games that I have. So I thought, you know what? Why not play all of them? Why not play all of them? And Flash is saying you don't want to go anywhere beyond 5, which I don't mind going beyond 5. I know 6 has issues that I've seen. I've seen plenty of it, but I'm still interested. And maybe Command Mission, who knows? Yes, I see. No, the only thing I can hear is the game and myself. See, here's the thing. It's still picking you up, you know. The mic is so let me explain, right? The mic is a dynamic mic, right? So do you see this top part here? Everything out of it goes kind of like that. If you catch my drift. Also, the Mega Man X Legacy collections have several input lag. What? I did not know that. I did not know. I beat the. I mean, I found it hard to do the Hadoukens in the first game, and Shoryuken was impossible in the second game. I'm surprised. I would think that you would at played 1 to 4, maybe. No, I only beat 1 and 2. I beat one, which I had to use a guide for, because I went for Storm Eagle first, and I couldn't get to him because I didn't have the dash boots. Because I didn't have the dash boots, I couldn't do that one, so I had to get those first, and then I could take on Storm Eagle. And then piece by piece, I just kind of went after all the different bots. With 2, it was I felt that one was a little bit more annoying. I'm going to be honest, right? Those games require knowledge, and for me, the Storm Eagle is easy when you have the boots. I didn't have the boots, so I couldn't beat him. At least you didn't go for Launch Octopus first, like I did, before I got course corrected by. Yeah, I didn't do that. I don't remember who I went to. I know I went to, what was it? Chilled? I was gonna say Chilled Penguin, which I believe that's a boss, because it was an ice level I went to. Got the boots, finished the level, got that power up first, then went straight to Storm Eagle. No, Atomic, that's you wanting to play the game on hard mode. Listen. That's the equivalent of doing that is like going through Cannon's Core, not getting the air bracelet for Knuckles, so you can't breathe underwater. Always beat the penguin first. I learned that later. I did try to go for like weaknesses, but I never figured them out. I think I figured it out like twice because I didn't remember any of them. And then I did go for Hadouken as well. I did get Hadouken, and I got Shoryuken in the second game as well. What? Oh, then no, give me a sec. Air bracelet? Does he have stuff injected? No. So there's in Sonic Adventure 2, in Aquatic Mines, you can get the air bracelet upgrade for Knuckles, which is like the small little bracelet that he throws on over his face when you dive underwater. It's so that you don't have to deal with air bubbles and all of that when you're diving, when you're like doing like swimming and all of that, which being honest, it only applies to Aquatic Mine and Cannon's Core. Like you don't really use it for anything else. And he's the only one that gets it. I don't even think Rouge gets that for her levels, and she does swimming once. I think that's probably why she doesn't get it. Because Dry Lagoon has swimming in it, and then the rest of her stages don't. No, they don't. I was thinking, in Eggman's, in the Eggman base. This is Yakuza 0. This is a director's cut that came out on PS5. Oh, that's a pyro. Yeah, that's really good. And we're going swimming. I love the turn-based one. Turn-based one? You haven't played the other one, then, have you? For goodness sakes! Oh, Infinite Wealth? Okay. Infinite Wealth was fun, but I didn't like it as much as Like a Dragon. Like a Dragon is the one where you can't move around your character around during battle. Oh, I played the one where you can. Yes, so you played Infinite Wealth. Right, I'm right. Please let that be fixed. Please let that fix the issue. Right. So I'm having issues with my Elgato, where the audio is desyncing, and it keeps doing it. You can go in the kitchen or Good, careful. Right. Listen, you're already in the stream now. Right. Right. He's left now. He might show up on stream later, but in the chat later. I don't think so. But he's just moved to another room now. But yeah, I'm thinking about playing all the X games, and maybe Command Mission. The only one I'm not adding to it is the Zero games, because the Zero games are a completely different beast. I can't tell if the DualSense D-pad is faulty, or if the game itself suddenly starts negating the left-held input, given it's only happening to me on the PS5 version of the game. What game are you? Oh yeah, you're playing Gravity Course. So when you press left, right, what happens? You can skip Command Mission if you ask me. It's probably one I'll try by myself, and if I don't, I most likely won't like it, because I've not heard a single good thing about it. I mean, in my case, I would like usually. But yeah, what's it? I'll probably try it by myself. I most likely won't like it, but you know, I'm willing to try it. Hey, listen, I'm a Sonic fan. I own Sonic 06. I own Secret Rings. I own the 3DS version of Lost World. I am in this. So I am in this. Oh, this is the guy. Is this the bat guy? Yeah, this is the guy who teaches you how to use a baseball bat. Usually it moves the character left as it should, until it becomes randomly unresponsive until I respawn. Right, I'm gonna ask you to do a test, okay? Here's what I want you to do. Save your game first, close it, and open up another game that allows you to move on the D-pad, move using the D-pad, and then test it there. If it happens in multiple games, it's the controller. If it doesn't, it could be the game. Like this is just usually. I say do this because you want to cover your bases when it comes to technological issues, so that you can fully know. Okay, this is the issue. Like that, when it comes to issues, you always wanna test things. So you have full confirmation that okay, it is definitely this thing. Yep, it's the baseball bat. This moveset is so cool. Yeah, that's and this thing I'll teach you, right? So as I said earlier, anything if a controller has an issue and you can't recognize what's the cause, or any form of technology, if you can't recognize the cause, run tests that revolve using the thing that's creating the problem, using the thing that's either unresponsive or some sort of issue, right? if it's a universal thing that happens in multiple games, or instances, in anything other than what you were playing, right? Then it's the device that you're using. If it's game specific, then it's the game. Witnesses someone getting beaten with a stick. Yeah, master. Yeah, welcome to. Hey, here's the funny thing, Atomic, right? They do something similar in Yakuza 5, where you get given a flip phone, right? And how it's used is that you take pictures of unexplained events and then you turn them into moves. For instance, I think the weirdest one was a fat guy running around rooftops doing like crazy parkour and all of that. And I don't know who takes a picture of him. I think it's Akiyama who does. And you get a move off of that. I'm not sure what kind of test one, since I can only play it. Since I can only remember it happening on the PS5 version, and maybe any game Flash. As long as it's a game that allows you to use the D-pad for movement. So if it's a game that allows the D-pad for movement, if you've got a save or something, run that game and then just press and then as soon as you load up the save, just hold the left button down on the D-pad, and then if it causes the same issue, it could be the game, or it could be the controller. It doesn't have to be any specific game, as long as you have to press left to move on any other game that you're playing, or any other game that you have that isn't the game that you're currently playing.
Huh?
That's the main thing. So if you actually, no, here's the thing, right? If you have a Hollow Knight save, if you still have to save, right, you just have to move left, and if you stop moving left, then you have your answer. The other option you could go for, if you don't want to do any games, is you take a computer, right, and go to Google. You type in gamepad tester, right? Then go to that website, plug in your controller via USB, and then hold left on the D-pad. You know it, right? How about just to make it a bit simpler, I will give you a demonstration of sorts. Not with like swapping games and all that. But let me just plug this in. I technically don't need this because all I gotta do is look at my screen. Like all I gotta do is like you see the D-pad up top, right? I know it's working because, you know, I can see that. But let's say I want to get more specific, because I don't trust myself, or I don't trust technology. Right? So do that. Gamepad tester. Right, and then it's going to connect to, you press a button, there you go. Now my controller's connected to it. So, and this website gives you specifics as well. So, you know, I use this to determine if my controller has drift. So if anyhow this controller had drift, I would know from this. Or if one of the buttons are unresponsive, so on and so forth, right? This is probably the best thing to use. So. Right, and let me just turn that off, turn this back on. There we go. Let's continue. It's so sporadic, that it might take hours to replicate. Oh, wait, so it takes hours? So So this issue is something that doesn't. It's not like a. It's not a consistent problem. It's a specific problem. So like all right. If it's a specific problem, it's most likely the game then, because there are, especially if it's an indie game per se, certain issues can arise with some of them. For instance, one of the games I like is a racing game called Grip. However, if you pause the game, you can't just go up and down the menu because it doesn't highlight anything. The game won't highlight, even if you're playing on consoles, the game won't highlight that, hey, you can move the D-pad in the pause menu. Because nothing, it's a weird thing, and it's not the first indie game to do that, nor will it be the last, but it's something that's that happens. And then there's some indie games where you lose control entirely in the menus for like a second or so until you figure out what the button is, because they didn't fully implement the D-pads, the controls and the controller stuff, and then oh, my brain can work, and then it'll sometimes think, hey, you got a mouse on or something rubbish like that. You know what, right? You know what, right? This is driving me up a wall. This is driving me up a wall. There, that fixed it. How many times am I gonna be doing this? I'm gonna have to, you know, while this is still playing, I'm gonna do a little bit of research really quickly. Because I don't want this incident with the audio lagging to keep happening. Elgato 4S audio lag. Audio lag on OBS. Wait, I feel like I solved this issue before. I love when games and tech don't work. Fun times, Lord. Right, I don't think this is explaining it very well. Do I have other? No, I don't have other options. How did I do this before? Oh wait, what's where's audio capture device? Oh, I'm stupid. Hold on. Come on. There we go. I'm stupid though. Yeah, I did it wrong. So here's how you fix the issue, right? You don't use the audio from the you don't use the audio through what is this? Through console capture, right? So I use okay. So here's what the issue was, right? I was using the audio from the video output, from the video capture, directly. You shouldn't do that. What you should do is you should have the video be from that, mute the audio, and then have the audio come from a separate channel through an audio input capture, which is what I didn't do. I completely forgot to do that. I've just fixed the issue. Oh, because I remember. I was like, why is this audio input capture here? Right, it's because I use it for the Elgato. Right, I got it to work. For goodness sakes, I don't need to do all this research stuff now. It's pointless. I also need to finish some other games as well. I've got Dust Fade to finish. I've got, need Twilight Princess to finish. Oh, right. Now that you're here, Atomic, I'm going to complain a bit. Spider-Man is everywhere. So here's the thing, right? I think
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Green Goblin are top tier. And the argument be we just seen one tournament, we don't really know yet. But that mix-up that Green Goblin has is disgusting. That mix-up that he has is disgusting. On the glider, set up the bomb, and then just mash light because it's an overhead. That's how do you block that? And then Spider-Man has probably the best assist in the game because he basically has a Spider-Man assist, and the air one's just as good. I'm sort of a mix-up master myself. I don't. And you know what sucks as well? Do you want to know something really funny, right? When I was playing, I was playing Marvel Tokon while watching Top 24 at CEO, right? Which was Saturday, right? I'm playing the matches, and I kid you not, every match I was watching had Spider-Man in their team, and every match I was playing at the same time I was watching had Spider-Man in their team. I think there was like one guy who made top 8 in CEO that didn't have Spider-Man in his team. I saw the main ones I saw was Spider-Man, Green Goblin, and Magneto, and then the last character would kind of diversify here and there. And it was like, you're telling me that the best character is Spider-Man and I gotta deal with Spider-Man. My team, I did not see a single Loki. And Doctor Doom was gone. All I saw was Spider-Man, Magic, Magneto, maybe Black Panther and Wolverine here and there. I saw Chaos, who had Deadpool on his team, and he would have beaten Sonic Fox for that second game and tied it up if he didn't screw it up. I didn't know that Tokon meant Spider-Verse. It's turning into Spider-Verse. It's turning into Spider-Verse. And it's annoying for me because that means I gotta deal with this large character. Tournaments have a powerful influence on players and character picks. And if enough of a character is seen across the circuit, guess what happens? So I expect what's going to happen is that by the time we get to our first DLC character in Phoenix Cyclops, Spider-Man is gonna get nerfed. Spider-Man and Green Goblin are both gonna get nerfed. I don't know about Carnage, because Carnage isn't that bad. I'm also kind of getting the hang of the movement, and this is a air dash heavy game. I find it funny that everyone is playing Spider-Man with co-host Blade. I mean, yeah, because Blade's got the kunai that auto targets you, which works for like crazy mix-ups and combos. I did come up with a mix-up. Well, I say come up with it, but I figured something out with Loki. Alright, wait. Ooh! But yeah, I just saw Heat of Spider-Man. Also, rank match is just not the one, if I'm being honest. I feel like either I'm just playing poorly, which I do play poorly at times, but also that I just get you just get hit with things, and you don't know what's happening. I watched one of the matches where there was just heap of characters on screen, and neither player knew who won. Just know this: I play Spider-Man because he's cool, not because I know why you picked him. You picked him because he was cool. But the question is, when the patch notes come through, and the number of your team gets nerfed, are you still gonna play him? Here's the issue. Here's the thing that I ran into when I was playing Dragon Ball Fighters. Right, was that my team wasn't viable. So when your team is no longer viable in an Arxis game specifically, that can be a massive detriment because you can't really you can play as well as you want, but you are playing extra hard because you want to maintain character loyalty, which I get because I'm a Tekken player. Because I have my team now, and I don't plan on switching up on them either. No, because I'm not. Yeah, because I'm not a cow. So you would switch up on them. You would. Who? If Spider-Man got nerfed into the ground, is he staying on your team? Is he staying on your team? And who would you even swap? You'd probably swap to Carnage, wouldn't you? Just something Spider-Man in there. He stays. I am a character loyalist. Loki doesn't go anywhere, even though his projectile game isn't very good. Because I'm learning that I need to use more projectiles. I'm learning I need to spam assists. I need to Marvel to Tokon basically. Because even watching the tournament, people are just throwing assists out like it's Marvel 2. So again, being broken and busted and getting up. Because Spider-Man never gives up. Are you pulling from the story mode that you saw? That either you saw me play, or that you played yourself? So the mic's going to be a bit lower. I'm going to get as close to this mic as possible so that I can maintain volume at least. So if you can't hear, the mic is right in my face. Now he's been like that in almost every broken and then useless. Or just broken. Nah, broken and getting back up. Tell that to who plays Spider-Man in Marvel 2 or 3? Listen, there's talking going on in the background, so I'm just lowering the mic. So if I have to do this, it's because you can't hear me. Right, this is important. So you have to. So this part of the game, you can craft gear now, and this isn't as good as what you get later down the line in Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Have you seen Spider-Man books? The writers, I mean, yeah. But my knowledge of Spider-Man comics comes down to One More Day, sort of. Silk's introduction, which was weird and got abandoned. The time Spider-Man beat the Avengers, and the time Spider-Man stuffed Captain America's shield in Captain America's face. Oh no, there's one more I'm missing. There was a time where he when he grabbed Kingpin by his skin and lifted him like he's holding his shirt. which I don't even know how you reasonably do that. Who has enough flesh that you can grab him like you're gripping up someone's shirt? Right. Yeah, so this place we can get we can get materials and build gear and build build weapons. Here's the thing though. These weapons do not count to the moves that you currently have. They count to a separate slot for weapons, which honestly you don't need to touch this at all. This is the most useless thing in the game. You can do it, but there's no point. And he's still going. Imagine having the literal universe hating you for existing and you still keep going. Yeah. Until, you know, at some point you get killed, because in this is comic book land. Every character in all of comic books has, except for like maybe Sonic, and Sonic characters have been killed at some point, except for like maybe one Sonic character. No, he's probably not dead. Alright. Yeah. Oh. Right. I need to get a drink. These cutscenes are long. Why did I choose this game? No, I chose this game because Stone asked me to do this. Stone wanted me to do this game. What do you want now, old man? Go train Kiryu. I don't know why you're here. You ain't training me. Okay, bring the foe on. I'll fight him. It's not like I can't. It's not like I can't beat anybody else up. He died at least. Yeah, it's comic book land. Everybody dies, except for no. Wolverine's probably died. Wolverine's died before in the comics, and then there's the time where Wolverine doesn't die. Like I've seen a comic book panel where he's nothing but an adamantium skeleton. Which was a cool shot, no, I won't lie. Where Wolverine wishes he died. Oh, Lord have mercy, not this. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm not doing that. I didn't even finish that in my main save back when I was playing this. That is a long series of quests revolving around a stupid crane game. Wasted how much money on that rubbish. I'm also not really getting money at the moment. I need to fight some people. Oh, speak of the devil. Like death would be a blessing for him if he had the choice, but he doesn't. He just goes into a berserker rage. Right. Come on. Let me just get it. Come on me. Come on me. Come on me. Ow. I hate you so much. And have a nice swim. You know what's great about the later Yakuza games? When you knock people into the water, and you win the fight, because there's no transition like how it is in this game and the older games, it means that you get to see their body like just go around floating it down the river, floating downstream. It's hilarious. Wait a minute, what is this? Oh. What's this rubbish here? I never noticed that before. No, that's the wrong way. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, hold on a minute. Aren't I supposed to be able to go to the other side of there? No, it's this side. I got confused for a second. Would Deadpool be like, no, Lord, no, I'm Marvel Jesus? I mean, he doesn't die.
おめえとりあえず金出せ
やるんか
Just beat up the drunk guy. Because why not? I just wanted to beat up the drunk guy. I had no problems with him whatsoever. I just wanted to beat him up. Wait, where am I going? Oh, down here. There you go.
お待てや真島
Still, you know what would be nice? If Tokon...
ああ誰やお前ら
I mean, it
オ
works.
デッセイの
On
もんになって
PS5
言うたら
Works on
心
PS5.
当たりあるやろ
It'll work on PC.
オデッセイ
Well, it sort of works on PC now. I
の
guess.
ぞみの引き抜きなら山
And I
形
do
と
mean
話はつ
sort
いとる
of.
で
Like, you lot are waiting
支
for
配
like
人が納得
another
しても
update to happen for
俺
the
らが
game
納
to
得
fully
する
work.
か売りによって
Because they've kind of like patched the PC version and kind of called it a day now. Who knows when the next patch is going to be out for Tokon? 8 frames of rollback, you know, that's unplayable.
あんたお客様は神様や言うて客に土下座までするらしいやないか
We're
夜の
not
出
in
ようか
the
なんか
grind,
知らん
so
が
customer ain't king out in the
情けない
streets.
話やでそんなに金が欲しいか客には通用しても
Listen, listen.
俺ら
I'm
に
Goro
土下座通
Majima. I
用
run
せ
a
んで
fine establishment.
ま
You are not going to take
試し
me
に
like
や
that.
ってみて
And
も
we're
ええ
not
け
in the
どな
grind, so the customer isn't king here.
お前らの言う通りや
あ
お客様は神様やうちの店に来た客になら土下座でもするし靴でも舐めたるわせやけど客やないなら話は別
Yeah, we're not in the shop.
まして
Why did Unreal Engine 5
喧嘩売りに来たチンピラなん
Here's
ぞ
the thing, right?
俺が優しいと思う
I think people complain about Unreal Engine more than
大層な
what
口
the
聞けんのも
actual
今のうちや
more than like actual developer issues. I don't believe it's the engine. I've never believed it's the engine, and the reason why is because I can pull to a number of games, big names or otherwise, that actually work on Unreal Engine 5, no issues. You can't call those exceptions, is it? Because we have examples. You can't look at Tekken 5. You can't look at Tekken 8, which is an Unreal 5 engine game, and say that's an exception. Same thing with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds and what's the game called? Expedition 33. No, that's an Unreal Engine. Like if I pulled up a number of games, like people say it's the engine's fault that it causes these issues, and then I say there are so many games that work on this engine compared to the few that don't. Are you telling me this engine still doesn't work? Oh.
仕返ししたかったら店に来いや客としてなら土下座でも何でもしたるわ
Oh, I'm putting up the
Skinny
games. Because they have a list of them, and I don't remember all of them off by heart.
その後どうなるかは保証せんぞ
So, Arc Raiders works.
お客様
The
は
Alters, I've seen that game. That game works. I've seen Ashes of Creation, Assetto Corsa. These games all run. Black Myth Wukong, Borderlands 4, which Borderlands 4 has some issues. Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Chronos The New Dawn. Dead as Disco, Dead by Daylight. I don't. Denshi Attack. Denshi Attack is an Unreal 5 engine game. I did not know that. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Dune Awakening, Oblivion Remastered, Everspace 2, The Finals, First Ascendant, Fortnite. Although Fortnite's, I'm going to leave Fortnite out. Fortnite's like an exception again. Frostpunk 2, Gears of War E-Day, Gears of War Reloaded, Gothic 1 Remake, Grounded 2, which I don't even think is out yet. Halo Campaign Evolved, which that I get sort of had issues. Hell is Us, which Dad didn't have issues. I played that was fine. Hell Let Loose, High on Life, High Guard, which even though that game's dead, it ran. Infinity Nikki, Invincible Versus, Killing Floor 3, Kingdom Hearts 4 ain't out yet, so I can't even speak on that. Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, Lego I keep Fortnite out of it, Lego Horizon Adventures, Lords of the Fallen 2, Marvel Rivals, Marvel Tokon Works, I guess. Mafia Old Company, Metal Eden, Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Multiverses. I never got to play Myth Force. Only Up, The Outer World 2, Neverness to Evan. Oh, that's the Hoyoverse game. That's the Hoyoverse GTA game. Power World, Phantom Blade Zero. I don't know what Phantom Breaker is, but there's that. I can't pronounce the name of this game. This is that indie game with the white rabbit in the black outfits that looks like a PS1 game, and it's a Metroidvania. That game's really good. Rematch Remnant 2, Rivals of Aether, RoboCop Rogue Legacy, Sandland, Stalker 2, Satisfactory, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Silent Hill F, Silent Hill short message. I can't speak on Townfall. Sinking City, I can't speak on Sinking City 2 or Sonic Racing Cross World, Split Fiction, Splitgate 2, SpongeBob, Tides of the Titan, Titan of the Tide, Spire. Oh, that's not out yet. I heard Squirrel with a Gun's pretty good. I can go. It's I practically. You know what? Right, we're almost at the bottom, so I might as well finish. Still Wakes the Deep, Subnautica 2, Meat Boy 3, which I don't think it's out yet, so I can't call that. I can't speak on Taxi Life or the Talos Principle, Tekken 8, and I can't speak of Tides of Annihilation. Yeah, it is that is Hoyoverse. NT is Hoyoverse. Yeah. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I thought because it's very Hoyoverse. Is why would that's the Mandela effect? I thought that was actually a Hoyoverse game. Oh lord, I nearly dropped the controller. But yeah, there's a lot of games that work on it. The only ones I didn't name were the ones that I didn't play or that aren't out yet. There's a lot of Unreal Engine games. So I swear, the last thing I say is the first thing I'll say next when I don't even mean to say it. So is Arknight's Endfield, Withering Wave. Yeah, I know about those ones. I know Arknights isn't Hoyoverse. And I know I knew Withering Wave wasn't Hoyoverse for ages. So I know about the other ones. I was there for I wasn't there for the beginning of Hoyoverse. I was there for Hoyoverse's big break with Genshin Impact. I used to play Genshin Impact a lot as well. I don't know how many hours I have in that game. I haven't touched it since. That game is way too big now. It takes up way too much space. I'm waiting for Anata.
この町は牢獄や。俺が塀の外に出られんのはいつなんやろな。兄弟。
I kind of need less gacha games. I kind of need less gacha games to not be enough. I'm waiting for what's it called? No. Stupid. I'm waiting for what's the game called? Anata, which looks like a Hoyoverse game, but has actual good-looking gameplay with Spider-Man web swinging and cars and multiple characters that I can get for free. I don't gotta pay for them. I just gotta pay for cosmetics.
Oh, Yodai.
I
Oh,
can wait for that game. I can't. I
no,
pre-registered for that game ages ago.
持ってきたんやろな。ああ、
And the funny thing is, while I've seen some gameplay stuff here and there, we haven't really
まがい
heard
もん
from
は
that
一
game
切な
since.
し。堂島組経由で仕入れた正真正銘の本物や。
This character won't be relevant
拳銃は全部で
until
一丁につき6発撃てるとして、
which should actually be his
36発
introduction
発射できる。
because this game actual game comes
36
later.
発か。
Okay, something's wrong with the PS5 version. I haven't
その場にい
seen
る
the
清和会の
Nintendo
連中
version.
全員。
No, but here's the thing: you're playing the Nintendo version,
こ
so
ないなとこ呼び出して
the test
何のつも
isn't
りなんすか。
the test isn't
柴田。
if the game the test isn't just specifically the game. The test is specifically if it's the controller.
上野義治の襲撃
That's why you do it on
Majima-san.
other games. That's why
行かないでください。
that's why I've been saying press the left
あなたと
enter another
冴
game
島は今日
entirely,
出所直後の上
then
野
just
義治
hold the
を
left
都内のラーメ
D-pad
ン屋
down.
で
That's
襲
on
う
the D-pad down
そう
to
いう
see
計
if
画で
it's
す
the
よね
controller. If it is, then
実
you
はあ
would
の
know.
計画
But if it
ちょ
isn't,
っと
then it is
問
the
題があり
game.
ましてね
Like, what other games
予
have
定
you
を変
tried
更
this
させて
on
もらうことになりま
besides
した
Gravity Circuit?
このまま襲撃に向かえば堂島組長
But is it
島野さ
something?
ん
Is
にも
that something you've been
迷
able to
惑をか
confirm?
けることになってしまいます
Did you test the controller on
兄弟
other
はもう
things?
向かってねえ
Because testing
じゃあ俺はどう
testing
したら
another
いいじゃん
version of the same game
真島さん
would just confirm that it's the PS5 version.
こ
Yes,
のまま見殺しにせっちゅんか
but it wouldn't confirm if it's a controller issue.
俺は行くたとえどんな裏があっても構わへん
So if you've whittled it down to okay, the left D-pad's fine on everything else I play, and the Switch version doesn't have this issue, then it's the
でもそれ
PS5
じゃ
version
あ
of
あ
the
なた
game.
の身も
うるさい関係ないわこっちはそないなもんとっくに捨てる払ってきたんじゃ
And what about the controller?
そうですかそれじゃ仕方ありませんねおい
You have to whittle down all the options. Controller, and game version.
柴田
And there goes his eye. Here's the thing.
お前には失望したで
Because I got a guest here,
真島
I don't. What's the sake? Because I have a guest here, I don't know how long I'm going to go on for. Although at the same time, I don't want to do
極
this
道
super
に
short
とっ
stream as
て
well.
親の命令は絶対お前やったらそんくらい分かっとると思っとったがな
And again, it'll be a pretty short stream for this. Honestly, I'm not sure anymore. You're saying Switch version never crashed to me, and I got. So that's a different case, right? That's a different case. If it's an issue, because you kept saying like, I press left on the D-pad and
教えてください
it becomes unresponsive, right? That's what I was focusing on, right? If there's another issue involving the game crashing, then you can say, okay, it's the PS5 version.
穴ぐらや
Because your message sounded like I press left on the D-pad
安心
and
せ
and then
別
it
に
becomes
殺しはせん
unresponsive.
せやけどここにぶち
So
込ま
that
れたやつ
confused
は
me.
みんな殺してくれって泣いて頼むわ
If it's the game freezing up, then that's that's a simpler thing.
兄弟は教えてください親父
Now I'm more interested in the game repeatedly crashing. Yeah, so if the game's repeatedly crashing on the PS5 version, question: is it a specific point? Is it a specific point in the PS5 version where it crashes, or is it random? So if you're playing the PS5 version, will you just play the game all normal and then just out of nowhere, boom, it's just crashed? Or will you get to a specific point in the game or try and perform a specific action that will just outright crash the game? I asked because when I was playing Stellar Blade and I was trying to play a DLC, there's one mission you gotta do where you gotta protect Lily, and the thing is, every time I would try and do that mission a specific way, it would always crash on me. And it was always that specific, and every time I did it that specific way, the game would always, without fail, just crash on me. It happens before some bosses, but I can't tell what action on my part. Action. So it could. So is it like specific bosses, or is it like you'll just go to a boss and it just doesn't load? It seems to correlate with loading zones. So that just could be anything, really. Then that means that just means it is flat out the PS5 version of the game. That could just mean, yeah, no, the PS5 version of this game in its entirety just doesn't work, and will just crash randomly. If it's like in between loading zones, something it doesn't load correctly, boom, game crashes. Oh lord, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Right. Alright. I don't know what I'm gonna, because there's a thing, right? Again, I got a guest here now. Unexpected guest, but I guess nonetheless. So, do I want to end this early? I mean, all we've done so far is like a few fights and a couple cutscenes. Because he's gone back to the grind. It is one thing this game has a lot of its cutscenes. I don't mind the story. I know this story, so there's a reason why I can talk all over this, because I know this story. Until new stuff shows up, this is just all the same so far. Oh, what does this guy want?
Huh? どういう風の吹き回しや。あいにく、あんたと酒飲むくらいなら、自分のしょんべん飲むのはまだまし。
What kind of suggestion is that?
やめとけ。あんまりうまいもんじゃねえぞ、あれは。店は下の連中に任せとけば1日ぐらいはなんとかなんだろう。俺は明日場公園で待ってる。早く来いよ。
Oh lord, I know what this cutscene is.
おい
I haven't seen anything new yet.
オーナーからの呼び出しや。いつ戻れるかわからんから、あと頼んだで。
わかりました。主任にも伝えておきます。
すまんの。
Right. I already know what this is. You know what? I know what this is. Let's hit the save. Can I delete what I just accidentally created? I can't. What's the difference? Oh, this is the old one. I don't care. The second save wasn't supposed to exist to begin with. I'm figuring things out. First things first, let's get some abilities going. Right, let's go. Right, we got some abilities, nothing too major. I'm probably gonna leave it there. mainly because I got a guest here. But yeah, when we come back, we'll be playing more of this. So I look forward to it. I know what comes up next, and what comes next kind of kicks off his plot. So we're kind of practically done with all the selling, with all like the intro stuff now. What comes up next is like the beginning of Majima's actual story. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I know it's really short of a stream. I'm gonna try again tomorrow and then see if we can do it again a bit longer. But yeah, I thank everyone for coming to watch this short stream. I am. Let's see who's raidable. I don't know if there's anyone who is. I'll probably just leave it there. But yeah, I'll leave it there. So yeah, I hope the rest of you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you